The media accused of a double standard when it comes to covering Republican women. Imagine that. So the New York Times being called out for referring to Texas Republican Congresswoman Mayra Flores as a far-right Latina. Flores hitting back, saying, "I have received only hate from the liberal media and constantly been told by the left to go back to Mexico. The New York Times knows nothing about me or our culture." Others quick to point out the stark contrast between coverage of Flores' political success and AOC's. For example, AOC gracing the covers of multiple publications, getting invited to the Met Gala, always being praised. And I don't think that Mayra Flores, Jesse, expected to be on the cover of any magazines, but the New York Times headlines about AOC versus that of Mayra Flores, I am rarely surprised, but it was still shocking.
Yeah, it's pretty stark, the contrast. She shouldn't have spoken to the New York Times. That's my advice to everybody. I see it like this way. You have Republican, you have conservative, you have right-wing, you have hard-right, and then you have far-right. You don't want to be far-right. So I have some advice for people on how not to get labeled far-right. Because what they do, the libs, especially the New York Times, far-right is considered QAnon, conspiracy theory, election stuff, all right? Now, you never do anything with Q. Ignore Q. And this is when they ask you, is Joe Biden the legitimate president of the United States? This is what you say if you're a Republican and you're getting smeared as a far-right lunatic.
Yes.
You say, yes, he is the president. He was certified, he was inaugurated, and he wound up with the most votes. But that election was not fair, and here are 3 reasons why. Now, these are indisputable facts that you could just throw that in their face. Number 1, big tech and big media conspired to suppress the Republican October surprise, the laptop. Mark Zuckerberg spent $500 million layering over a private army of election activists on top of the local election officials. And you have all these Democrat lawyers who sued everybody, extended deadlines, weakened signature requirements, and then allowed all these unsolicited ballots to be blasted off, no verifiable chain of custody. You hammer those 3 facts home, and you say, I want election integrity because I want people to trust the elections in this country. And that's how you don't get labeled far-right. It's that simple. Take it from me.
All right, Judge, let's get back to Mayra Flores, even though that was excellent.
That's my advice to Flores and all you people out there.
When it comes to the contrast.
Look, what is happening now are traditional American values are being trashed as extreme, as outrageous. I mean, look, this is a country found on Judeo-Christian ethics, okay? This is in my courtroom, in most courtrooms in this country. They say, in God we trust. It's even on our money. Okay, and the truth is that they are pushing us away from religion, and she is a traditionalist in terms of her beliefs. And so it's not even about calling someone racist anymore, because that word doesn't even have the sting that it used to have. You know, the worst thing the left could call you is a racist, but it really was never about that. It's about ideology. And so when they want to trash you, they'll say you are racist or you're an extremist. But that has no meaning. The only thing they're saying is that you are someone who is so far out of the norm, when the truth is they're the ones that are so far out of the norm. They're the ones who are trying to change the reality and the legitimacy of who we are as a God-fearing nation, founded on these principles in terms of, you know, the right and wrong and law and order. And, you know, now that these Latinas or Latinos or whatever are being elected, they're being seen as a threat, because Joe Biden only is 26% of them who favor him. And they know that once they lose some of the bigger ones, the rest of the Latinos are going to be very comfortable leaving Joe Biden. So they've got to demonize them as extremists.
That's a good question then for Harold about the left and the Democrats are already losing support from Latinos at a pretty steady level, but when they start being elected, especially in those border towns, you know, Republicans don't have to win the entire Latino vote. They just need to win some more of it. And I can't imagine that the Democrats think overall that this is a good idea, but they seem to always do this to somebody like Mayra Flores.
There are 100 Republican candidates across the country that are Hispanic. It's the biggest number Republicans have ever had. I think when politicians complain about press coverage, I mean, it's like a batter complaining about a little ump call. You got to keep going with the game. You can't complain about referee calling here. The New York Times, remember, Biden criticized the New York Times. He and Klain said that they weren't being treated fairly by the Times. And look, the Times has treated a lot of people unfairly, Democrat, Republican alike.
This is a little different.
No, but I differ. I think Democrats and Republicans, the best you can do when you're a politician, don't make it about yourself. As much as this young congresswoman, who I've applauded her victory, she beat a Democrat, and Democrats are saying, well, it was a low turnout, so that race doesn't matter. Democrats, don't kid yourself, that race does matter. But when you focus on the voters and you focus on the things that you want to deliver, you want to make schools safer. You want to make the border safer. Animate us not with your emotion about the New York Times calling you or suggesting, not giving you the coverage that AOC has. People in your district want you to represent them. Lay out what you plan to do. I differ with my pal here. Just say yes. Don't do all that stuff you're talking about. Just say yes.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about election integrity.
Greg, what about the gall of liberals and Democrats telling her, this American congresswoman who was born in Mexico, they're telling her to go back to Mexico, but nobody else?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I think they're mad because they couldn't thwart this historical first. If she had been a Democrat, they would be parading her around like a Clydesdale horse. You know, and if you kind of look at, it's kind of an interesting pattern, and they might say it's proof that they're not racist, right? When the Roe decision came down, there were 6 votes, but the left focused their wrath on Clarence Thomas.
That's right.
The conservative who got the most wrath running for governor was Larry Elder, which they call the black face of white supremacy. There's other examples of where the left focuses on the minority conservative, and their argument being that, okay, it has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with values. It's like, I don't like these blacks, but I like these blacks. I don't like these Hispanics, but I like these. Actually, it is racist because what you're actually saying is you don't like blacks or Hispanics who don't agree, aren't subservient to your ideology. So that's just as racist. It's like, if you don't do what I say, then you're just like those people. Ew, gross. Go back to Mexico.
I agree.
Well, we at The Five would like to congratulate Mayra Flores for
Yes.
her victory and becoming the first congresswoman born in Mexico.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.